Every data team has someone who knows where everything is. Not the pipeline engineer, not the analytics lead, the person who, when someone asks which revenue table is the right one, just knows. The person who can explain why Q3 numbers don't match the board deck. For years, that person has had no title. They were the senior analyst everyone pinged on Slack before writing a query. That was fine until the organization started deploying AI. Because now it's not just new hires who need that context, it's the text to SQL tool pulling from the wrong revenue table. It's the AI agent that doesn't know your PII policy. It's the RAG system that retrieves deprecated documentation and presents it as current. These systems are confidently wrong because nobody's engineered the context they need to be right. That's what a context engineer does. And over the next few minutes, we're breaking down exactly what the role involves, what they do, where it fits, and how to move into it. We've watched teams invest in catalogs, governance frameworks, and AI tools, and still get unreliable outputs. The missing piece isn't technology. It's the person whose job is making organizational knowledge available to systems, not just to people. That's the function we're unpacking here. Context engineering didn't appear on anyone's roadmap 2 years ago. The work it describes, curating metadata, maintaining business definitions, explaining what data means, has existed for a long time. It lived in the margins, though, of other roles. What changed is AI. Prompt engineering, the dominant conversation in 2022 and 2023, focused on crafting the right questions. But enterprise AI doesn't fail because the prompt is bad. It fails because the system lacks the information it needs. When someone asks an AI assistant, "What was revenue last quarter?" a good prompt generates correct SQL syntax. But what revenue tables? Gross, net, or ARR? Which fiscal calendar? The prompt can't contain all of that. The context must already be structured, machine readable, and available at the moment of the question. Prompt engineering is writing a good exam question. Context engineering is designing the curriculum and the textbook that the student absorbs before the exam starts. Existing roles don't fully cover this. Data engineers focus on data flow, not semantic meaning. Analytics engineers model business logic, but don't necessarily make it machine readable for AI. Data stewards manage governance, but rarely build the systems that deliver policies to AI agents programmatically. Context engineering sits in the overlap, taking what each role produces and engineering its delivery to the AI systems that now consume it. Building on that foundation, we can look at what this work looks like in practice. The responsibilities fall into a few core categories: curation and structuring business context. Every organization has knowledge that exists informally, in Slack, in people's heads, in meeting notes. A context engineer captures it and structures it for machines. A concrete example: a SaaS company deploys text-to-SQL. Users ask about revenue and get 3 different numbers. 4 tables contain revenue data, 3 definitions exist, and nothing maps queries to the right source. A context engineer audits the semantic layer, creates canonical definitions in the catalog, and builds a retrieval layer that routes questions correctly. The fix isn't a better prompt, it's structured context. Next, building context pipelines. Context doesn't stay current on its own. A context engineer automates that flow, syncing definitions to retrieval layers, propagating tags through lineage, flagging new assets that are missing metadata. In Atlan, this means configuring playbooks and the APIs to trigger enrichment workflows automatically. The difference from manual stewardship is the word pipeline. The engineer builds the system, then monitors it. Configuring governance for AI. A financial services firm deploys AI agents that query their warehouse autonomously. Their PII policies exist in Confluence. The AI agents don't read Confluence. A context engineer translates human-readable policies into machine-readable metadata, tags, and policies in the catalog so that agents can programmatically check permissions before executing. They build propagation rules so that PII tags flow through lineage automatically. Governance for AI is a context delivery problem, not a documentation problem. Finally, quality checking AI-generated metadata. Platforms now auto-generate asset descriptions and other metadata. A context engineer reviews and corrects what AI produces, an editorial function. Bad context compounds. One wrong metric definition produces wrong answers everywhere that metric appears, for every user, every time. This is precisely why the role isn't automated away. Automated generation is a force multiplier for the context engineer, not a replacement. Now that we've seen what the daily work looks like, we can address two related questions. What skills does the role actually require, and where does it sit? The skills are hybrid. Metadata management, or understanding how metadata is structured, propagated, and consumed across catalogs and APIs. Semantic modeling, thinking in terms of meaning, not just schema. RAG architecture, not building vector databases, but understanding how retrieval works well enough to diagnose why it returns bad results. In translation, possibly the most valuable skill, sitting with business stakeholders, extracting what they know about a metric and converting it into structured, machine-readable context. Most context engineers today come from adjacent roles: analytics engineering, data stewardship, platform engineering. Nobody arrives with every skill. They build as the role demands. Where this role reports depends on what's driving the need. Under governance, when AI compliance is the priority; under the platform team, when context pipeline architecture is the focus; embedded in the analytics engineering team, when the use cases center on data querying and discovery. There's no single right answer, and for most organizations today, this starts as a rescoped existing role rather than a net new hire. Now, for practitioners who recognize their own work in what we've described, here's practical guidance. Start with a context audit. Pick one AI use case, a text-to-SQL tool, a RAG chatbot, and document every place it fails because of missing context. Wrong table selected, missing definition, stale documentation retrieved. That audit is your business case. Build one context pipeline. Take the highest impact gap from your audit and fix it systematically. Create a canonical mapping in the catalog, connect it to the retrieval layer, and set up automated sync. One pipeline is your proof of concept. Make the work visible. Context engineering often happens invisibly. Document what changed, measure the improvement, and present it. After structuring revenue definitions and building automated propagation, incorrect answers drop by X%. That's what justifies a dedicated function. Pitch the role, not just the work. The framing matters. This isn't just maintaining the data catalog. It's ensuring every AI investment actually works, because without reliable context, none of it does. That changes the conversation from cost center to enablement. The role is going to evolve. As AI matures, context engineers will spend less time on manual curation and more on pipeline architecture and feedback loop design. The fundamental skill, understanding what context systems need and engineering its delivery, stays at the core. We've broken down what a context engineer actually does, the daily work, the skills, where it fits, and how to move into it. The role exists because AI forced a question data teams were already quietly dealing with. How do you make organizational knowledge durable, structured, and available to the systems that need it? If you're dealing with one of these right now, a RAG system returning stale results, AI governance that only lives in Confluence, or something else, let us know in the comments. That's what we're building the next guides around.